Good evening, my Roslins and Rosikins. Mother is back, and I want to talk about the fact that it is very hard being that girl. I know a lot of times we see beautiful women online and on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, etc. Women who are handling their shit, and I also know that we ourselves are that girl as well. And these past couple of days or like a week or so since I've posted, so much has happened, right? I realized, even more so than I already did before, that it is hard being that girl because you are always a winner, even when you want to lose. It's like something inside of you cannot let you lose, Rosalind's and Rosikins, right? It's like something inside of you keeps pushing you further and further. I call that Yah, as in like people say I'm so strong, but really it's Yah's strength or God's strength if you're not familiar with his Hebrew name, giving me that endurance, right? And I also realized this past couple of weeks or week since I posted that Yah always has someone around me to help encourage me, even when I want to give up. So, like for me, I recently pushed myself physically to do like an exercise, well, not exercise, but a physical competition or like challenge. I would say challenge. And I end up getting it. I end up surprising myself that I actually was able to complete that challenge. And I just couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. I still can't. And even the fact that when I feel like I'm losing or not performing my best, even with my job, that someone's always there to tell me, hey, like, we know that you like handle your shit. Like, you don't have to worry. Like, even if it's a down day, like a slow day or nothing really to do, we know that you put in the work, even if you don't accomplish the task that we ask because of difficulty or, you're having to fix things, call people to get it done, etc. So, things like that, right? Even with my weight loss journey. So, what's interesting is that mother has been like struggling. And when I say struggling, it's like, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Mother likes to eat, but mother doesn't like to eat everything. Mm. So for me, I love and realize that it's the taste of things that I like, not necessarily the food itself, but the taste. For instance, so I love ramen. I love ramen. What I use to help me on my weight loss journey is konjac noodles. Look it up, honey. You might think it's expensive, but it's worth every penny because the calorie count is only 6 calories. Okay? I said what I said, and there's zero carbs. Look it up. Roslyn's, look it up. And so I realized that I think I'm more of a volume eater because I like to feel full, but then I'm trying to be able to have a healthy balance. And what's crazy is that I still am losing weight. So my thing though is that it's like slower. So for mother is trying to, let's say, cultivate a healthier, sustainable way with my weight loss journey because I've made great progress so far. And I intend to continue making more and more. But I don't want to set myself up where I end up binging because I am so restrictive with my eating window, um, and whatnot. So I've been thinking about that, I've been kind of going through that. Lately, I've also been feeling discouraged because, like, you know how you're doing so well? I don't know if you guys can relate, but mother will psych herself out because you're on a roll. Like when you have that moment where you're just like, damn, I'm killing shit. And the next thing you know, you're like, well, I mean, am I really doing a good job though? When you start self doubting your own progress, and the next thing you know, you're feeling discouraged and feeling like, well, I didn't really do much. And then you start saying, like, okay, well, now I feel like I can't continue. Like, maybe I don't have it in me to actually reach my goal. So, these are the things I'm talking about, my Roslins and Roskins. Being that girl, or if you're a Roskin listen, being that boy, it's hard, especially when you're a generational curse breaker in your family when you're like the black sheep, the lone wolf, the one that really cares heavy for the people you love, but you have to create distance for boundaries, and I've talked about this on my channel multiple times, it hurts. All of it hurts. Like, I don't think that people get it, my Rosalynds and Rosikins, when you're basically grieving something that will never be. And you want to believe and would hope that in a different reality that it could have been. But you know right now that it's not that way, and it might never ever be that way, and you learn to accept that shit. It hurts, right? You also realize that like stress triggers you, right? And it triggers you mentally, it triggers you like with your self-esteem, it also triggers your eating habits in an unhealthy way, things like that. I don't know, I just been doing a lot of self-reflection even with this YouTube channel. Okay, like I love my Roslins and Rosikins, but sometimes mother just feels like exhausted, not because of the YouTube channel, but because of my everyday life. Because it's like I'm always performing. It's not like I am always performing. I'm always doing something. And when the days that I don't do nothing, I feel like shit because I'm used to always being on, always hitting different goals, different marks. Even financially, right now, I'm on my financial, glow up goals, a journey, and I feel sometimes stagnant because we all get paid like bi-monthly? No, bi-weekly. So, like twice a month we get paid. And I'm like, damn, can these checks hurry up and come so I can start, clocking this money? Like, seriously. Oh, God. So, like, these are things that mother has been thinking about. Also, discipline. Oh, my God. Some days you feel on top of the world. Other days you just feel like, fuck it. And I know that that's not something that you'd expect possibly a mother to say, but I'm just being completely honest. And in those moments, you have to be lazy disciplined, which means like, okay, maybe you're not going to go lift weights today at the gym, but you could go take a long ass walk and listen to YouTube and binge watch Exoticals United and finance videos. At least that's what I do. Or and listen to my music, my Attack on Titan soundtrack. It's giving, anyway. Or some days you just don't want to be that girl. Some days it's tempting. I'll be honest. Sometimes it's tempting to want to be the ugly Betty in the sense that people are not expecting much out of you in that way because they feel that you're already low on the social pole or social norm or social status, that they feel like you're just there, like you're invisible. But when you're that girl, people are always expecting you to be on because you're always killing shit and because you're beautiful and because you have many options and they know you're capable of it. Like, I've never had so many people tell me how capable I am until I joined, the military, because they're always reminding me. And they're right, I very much am. But sometimes, it's like too much. Because some days I just don't want to be on. I just want to be me. And by me, I mean the part of me that wants to chill. But I will say also, when it comes down to dating as well, like when you're not on your shit dating wise, as a brown / dark skin exotical and as that girl, it becomes hard because men, they know like what you look like at your best, and they also know they probably didn't know what you look like at your worst. And I don't even mean physically, I mean like sometimes emotionally. So sometimes when you have a romantic partner and you're both getting to know each other, in the early stages, it's hard to be vulnerable because you realize that, damn, will they see how how potentially broken I am in certain different categories that I'm still like healing? Or it's like, well, will they see how healthy I am in certain categories and they can't relate, right? So, like for me, like I tell my Roslins and Razikins to always have your own bag. Me now, I'm building that for myself. I'm building my own bag, securing it even more so than I ever did before because now I have the means to. And in the future, I don't believe like finances are going to be an issue for me in regards to relationships. And some men might not be used to dealing with women that actually have shit, right? So I think about that too. I think about how some men will probably be shocked. I mean, it's not like I'm going to go broadcasting my net worth or anything, but they'll probably be shocked that I'm more easygoing and not really pressed or impressed so much by a dollar amount as I am the character and how they treat me and how they love me and how loyal they are to me. It's giving ride or die. Anyway, so yeah, or they might feel like, okay, well, she has certain lifestyle habits that she's cultivated. So I know that this is her regular like routine. And so if I ever fell off my routine, they'd probably be looking at me crazy, like, hold the hell up. Like, ever since I know you, you've been like this. What's going on? What's new in the hood? So it's just like overthinking. Okay, I'll admit it. Mother's an overthinker, is that girl. But I don't care. Okay, I'm also a planner for a good reason. Okay, your future happens to you or you happen to your future. Okay, your destiny is set up or it's in your hands. I believe in both. I believe your future and your destiny is set up, right? But you can decide how powerful and amazing it's going to be along that journey. And for me, I looks max. I'm finance maxing as well. Hashtag no spin 2025, right? No buy year. Okay, okay, but we do have a little treat coming, at the end of the year. But for me though, it's just like hard sometimes. It's just hard. It's hard because society would tell you to stay mediocre, my Roslins and Rosikins. It would tell you that it's better to just be one of the guys, one of the girls, just there, existing, coasting, struggling with debt, struggling with obesity, struggling with being broke, struggling with broken relationships, struggling with not loving yourself, struggling with abusing your body by overeating, hashtag fat acceptance. But when you are playing at a level that is higher vibrational and have self awareness and you hold yourself accountable, it's hard because a lot of people just can't relate to you and your accomplishments. They can't relate to you and your intelligence. They can't relate to you and your spirituality. They cannot relate to you and your self-love. They cannot relate to you and your self-accountability. They can't relate to you and your self-awareness. They can't relate to you and your wealth. They can't relate to you and your health. They can't relate to you and your beauty. They can't relate to you and your professionalism, your career advancements, your accomplishments, your education, your certifications, your trades, all those things. They can't relate to your entrepreneurship. They just can't relate to your social media content either. They can't relate to any avenue that you choose in life that you are successful at, because the average person doesn't have those same results. But then again, the average person is not that girl or that boy like you. So it just becomes hard, especially because you're doing it most likely on your own or like with one or two other people, but not the majority. And usually those people either come into your life for a season or there's someone that's been with you through your ups and downs when you were unaccountable, when you were in debt and broke, when you were obese or something, right? When you were broken. And so you have to learn to cherish yourself and to allow yourself to breathe, because life really doesn't have a clock. Yes, time waits for no one, but your life is literally what you make it. And the older I get, the more that I'm realizing that, because some would look at my life if it was a movie and feel like I've accomplished so much in life. I remember when I was like 17, I was talking to my grandma and she was telling me, because I told her, I said, Grandma, I feel like I'm behind. Like, I don't have this much money by this age. I don't have this type of influence. I don't have this type of job yet. And she was like, you're doing very amazing for someone your age. I think I was like late teens, early 20s. And she was saying, you shouldn't feel that way. She was telling me I'm very successful. And I agree when I think about that conversation now at 26 that I've come a long way and I'm breaking barriers for myself that I didn't know that I could. because I'm holding myself accountable and I'm giving myself an actual chance. And I'm being consistent and having discipline. And even when you do fall off on Rosalind's and Rosikins, you just get back up because you realize that anything in life is better than what you used to be or what you used to have to deal with. You also realize that no one's going to come to save you. And I think that that is what empowers us to be that girl, or from Razikins, that boy, because you understand that in this life, you either sink or swim. There's no safety net. There's no one that's going to be like, oh, okay, well, you're broke. I'll just take care of you the rest of your life, you know? Or I'll pay off all your debt. And if you do find someone like that, it's amazing. I'm hoping for someone like that, but not because I'm broke, but because he adores me in my life. But yeah. And yes, reciprocation, yada, 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 yada. Okay, let me not. But the point is, you realize that for me personally, ever since I was a child, a little girl, I always felt like I was chosen. I always felt different. I always felt powerful. I always felt like I'm about to change the world in a good way. Like I'm meant to be here. Like I have a great destiny. And I don't know why I always felt that way, but I always did ever since I was a child. I always did. And for those of us who are the chosen, for those of us who are that girl, that boy, we know all too well the amount of sacrifice that comes with that. That a lot of people that say they are but really aren't can't relate to. Like, how are you the chosen but you never been crucified? Let's start there. I'll wait. Yeshua, come on out. Get yourself together. Educate yourself. Or as some call him Jesus. Like, how are you the chosen and you never had stripes? How are you the chosen and you never been hated? How are you the chosen and your family's never betrayed you? I'm still waiting for that one. How are you the chosen and life is so easy? Us chosens, you know, that girl, that boy, we understand that everything we've ever had in life came through suffering. Yes, we've had fucking great moments, right? We've had things handed to us because we're beautiful, because we're handsome, because we have all these different gifts and talents. But it also came because we had those things. We were blessed with those things. But suffering is what really brought us to our knees, to make us so intelligent, to make us so, let's say, financially savvy, to make us so charismatic, to make us so self-reliant, self-assured, have self-love. We had to go through some hard ass shit to be the more evolved version of us that we are today, right? Because last time I checked, you don't hear a lot of 26-year-olds talking like me. You wanna why? Because I suffered for this shit. Okay, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. Okay. And what's funny is when I used to do student teaching, I once taught in Austin, Texas, actually 3 summers, 2 in person and then 1 virtually. It's through a program called Breakthrough Collaborative. If you want to get into teaching or if you're interested in that while you're in college, check that out. And I remember I was walking down the street and there was this homeless man. He was a black homeless man and his name was Bruce Wayne. I kid you not. And you know what he told me? He told me that suffering builds character. And I have never forgotten that. And that was like what? Like 6 years ago. And ever since then, and even during that time, I had moments where I suffered mentally. I had moments where I suffered physically. And then I started having moments where I was suffering internally, seeking the truth, wanting to know the truth about what the world was like, wanting to know the truth about who I was. I went through all these different stages of my life, so many deaths and rebirths. It's fucking hilarious, to be quite honest. You know? I went through so many things in my life. And it's funny, I've always said I want to live many lifetimes in one lifetime, or many lives in one lifetime. There we go. And I feel like I've done that. I feel like if I list off all the different things that I've been in my life at this point, I think you guys will be like, what the hell? Like, what? But seriously, I really have. I have literally died many times and been reborn again. Stronger. I'm a phoenix that rises from the ashes, baby. I'm a damn Scorpio. Get your life together. Anyway, so that being said, what I always realize is whenever I get kicked down, I swear to myself, I'm going to come back with a vengeance. And guess what? I'm that girl and I do. And so much of a vengeance that I even scare myself, my Rosalynds and Rosikins. Mother be scaring herself because the fight that I have in me, and at times the weaknesses, but the endurance to continue, it's almost fucking mind shattering, mind blowing. It's so unexpected. And you know what's funny? I realized that I'm the underdog too. And a lot of people that are that girl and that boy, they didn't always have it that way. They had to cultivate that grit, right? In education, grit, you keep pushing yourself. You realize that you have a growth mindset. You keep going. You're persistent and you're determined to get to that goal or to learn that thing, right? And so I had grit. I had grit. Like, I was not about to just give up. I just wasn't. Even when I wanted to. Even when I wanted to, and I scare myself. Because, like, for me, it's just not an option. Like, I've had too many people sacrifice for me in my life. I came into this world like my baby, my baby daddy here and gay girl. Okay. I came into this world ready for a fight. What's good? I came into this world ready for a fight. And you know what I've always wanted to fight for? My freedom, my chance to be among the greats. I've always fought for that. Even when I doubted myself, because you do. And being a chosen one, you are the underdog. Again, that girl, that boy, we're the underdogs that said, fuck this shit. We're about to be the top dogs on everything. Keep playing with us. Literally, that's what we are. I don't know where people think that being that boy or that girl is so easy. I'm still trying to figure this one out. How is it easy? It's never easy. If you look at this is why I love superheroes. If you look at the superheroes' journeys in Marvel and DC, yeah, every superhero has had to sacrifice something. Every chosen one has had to go through some shit. Every main character has to have character development. And you know how? It wasn't by giving everything handed to them. It also wasn't by just sitting on their ass. They put in the work to do that. Some by choice and others just by destiny. And so that's why I literally feel so passionate about this, because everybody swears they're that girl and that boy. Honey, you're not that girl, that boy, unless you suffered in life and you've risen above the bullshit. And you've also risen from the ashes that tried to bury you. Because that's what I do. Taylor Swift's music video, Look What You Made Me Do. Yeah, she says, I rose up from the dead. I do it all the time. It's giving rebirth, honey. It's giving. And so what I realize on this journey that I call life is that, yeah, that girl, that boy, we have our down days. We do, my Rosalynds. We have them. But we have more victories than losses, for sure. And the things that we might not be impressed with ourselves about this very moment, we'll look back and be proud when we realize what actually we've accomplished. Sometimes we're so big in survival mode that we don't take a moment to think about how we have also thrived. And I want to encourage you, my Rosalynds and Rosikens, that you are that girl, you are that boy, and just think about what Yah has done for you. Think about the obstacles that you have managed to one up on, to accomplish, to push out of your way, that you've went through and still came out on top. Imagine how people are always shocked to see that you're the one that's still winning when they have expectations for others that will never be able to meet the goals and achievements that you have, nor be willing to make the sacrifices you have or endure the suffering that you have. When you are downing yourself, when you are feeling like, hey, I haven't really done much, I haven't come a long way, I'm a failure, I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that, I'm obese. Realize that you're still not where you used to be and that you have made improvements. Whether they are slow or fast, you're still on the climb to the top in that area of your life. And I want to encourage you because I realize that this world takes everything good about us and perverts the shit out of it and then uses it against us and taunts us with the very thing that made us all special. And I want you to know that despite what you are going through right now, you are loved, you are important. You, my dear, are amongst the champions. You are chosen. You have a great destiny to fulfill, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And what is a hero without an enemy? What is a hero without a villain? What is a hero without adversity? The reason we call them heroes so much is because they're willing to do things that the average person wouldn't in order in order to make a great impact or change for themselves and the people they love. So that being said, remember what Bruce Wayne, the homeless black man, told me when I was student teaching in Austin, Texas. Suffering builds character. And the irony does not escape me. He's the total opposite of Bruce Wayne. He's homeless. He's black because Bruce Wayne, as you know, canonically is white. But he got one thing right in regards to what he has in common, though, with Bruce Wayne, is that they both believe, as in Batman, they both believe that suffering does build character because without him losing his parents, he wouldn't have become what he did. Yes, it hurt. Yes, that sacrifice no one should have to make to lose a loved one in order to unlock a certain level of yourself that you never knew you had. But, but, we all have destinies to fulfill. Some harsher than others, some with even more suffering than others. But honey, you are still a champion and you are still among the greats and you still are great. All of our journeys are different, but Mother has faith that you will come out on top and that you have what it takes because you are one of the greats. You are a hero. You are a chosen one. You are someone who will live many lives in one lifetime. You will die and be reborn again. You will be the phoenix that rises from the ashes. Why? Because you're a Rosalind and a Rosican. The hell? I love you. And I know you got this because you are that girl, you are that boy, and you wouldn't be either of those things unless you had the grit to be so and to do so. So, with that, Mother's going to say, ciao.